Hi, it's Alex Love with Arizona United News. I have
Saul Garcia,
and you are with
Emergency Protection Division. I'm the co-CEO and founder.
What exactly does your organization do?
Well, it's Emergency Protection Division is intended to be a national security organization for the people. So in order to combat police brutality, child welfare corruption, and just government corruption in general. The agencies that don't investigate, like, when it comes to government corruption, just police brutality and stuff like that, like internal affairs, they don't hold their police officers accountable. The state doesn't hold their police officers accountable, so our job would be to find a way to hold them accountable using the power of the people.
So you have two different programs?
Yes, two different programs.
Do you want to explain a little bit about each one and what they do?
Well, the first program is pretty much a new child welfare agency that investigates child abuse and neglect that occurs to children in foster care. And we created that because we're former foster children ourselves, so we know about CPS corruption and how children aren't really kept safe in the system. They're just used as money pawns. And like I myself, I was never adopted, and I was still physically and mentally abused in the system. So the point is to create an agency where what I went through can have someone to call and say, hey, I'm being abused, I need an investigator to help get me out of this child abuse situation, because CPS doesn't investigate child abuse and neglect that occurs to children that are already in the system because of publicity or whatever reason. They just don't want to hold themselves accountable.
So that's one of the programs.
Mm-hmm. And then the second program is pretty much what is known as our National Security Enforcement and Crime Prevention Program, and that's where we utilize autonomous drones that follow a guideline of pre-programmed rules and instructions that allow it to complete its desired tasks, like stopping police brutality. Their job would be to pretty much sit. They would always be on. They would be sitting and monitoring. If a gunshot goes off, it would be automatically able to activate and go to where the gunshot location was to be able to either disarm the perpetrator or help save someone's life from crime or prevention of robbery. And say if it witnesses police brutality, it would also respond to police dispatch, so that way it could be on the scene of an incident already, and then it would monitor the police. If it witnesses police brutality, it would automatically cite the U.S. code violation for police brutality and violation of color of law, and then it would tell it to stand down or be sedated, and then that way, if they don't stand down and they continue or just don't listen, they can, intervene, take action by being sedated, sedate the police officers. And then in that way, they also have a second accountability, because police cam videos, they're edited. We won't edit our drone videos and they won't have access to them either. We would work with the police departments, but we wouldn't really give them access to our videos when it comes to like holding police officers accountable. They wouldn't have authority to edit videos and stuff like that.
So it's pretty close to a civilian review type of process, right?
Yeah, and because it's a nonprofit, it would be controlled by the people. Although we are seeking government funding, we wouldn't allow the government to tell us how to run the agency or what we are and not allowed to do, like hiding information from the public.
So for each side is a little bit separate, or are you trying to get funding as a whole as an organization?
We're trying to get funding as a whole. I mean, we are registered as a 501c3 nonprofit, so we are able to do like storefront fundraisers. We do them at like Walmarts, places that allow us, Fry's, sometimes on the corner of the street, and people do donate, and we tell them what the donations will be used for and what the agency is all about, and a lot of people do agree.
Okay, so you're aware that last year Phoenix Police Department was the highest officer-involved shooting department in the whole nation.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
Have you tried to reach out to Phoenix Police Department, the internal or management?
No.
Okay.
No.
Are you trying to start locally with that side of it, or
Like in
federally?
Like in which? Well, we want to do it locally and federally. Like we want our drone program to be worldwide, so that way it can save and hold as many cops accountable as possible and save as many lives as possible.
Okay. I really like that idea from the video that I watched. Obviously, it's going to take a lot of time and a little bit of money.
Yeah.
But so that program hasn't necessarily been initiated yet.
No. I'm always working on both programs. Like every time I get the chance, like when it comes to funding wise, I use our funding to enhance our programs just a little bit more. Like if I need, a drone programmer, or I need a drone to work on, because we buy drones like frequently because we're stocking up on them, so that way, and they're all AR drones 2.0, but we'll eventually have them like upgraded to where like they're not so flimsy or whatever, and they're very high tech. But other than that, we just try to do as much as possible to get everything rolling as fast as possible. But like I said,
I noticed that you've been doing the CPS side of it for a little while. There's a video.
We want to be like, it's pretty much like a policing agency, and we're getting involved in areas where constitutional rights and our federal rights are being trampled on. Like when it comes to CPS, they're pretty much involving the cops and utilizing the cops to steal children illegally, which is a violation of the Fourth Amendment. All searches and seizures require a warrant. The Ninth Circuit Court has already ruled that a warrant is needed whether it be a child abuse investigation or a criminal investigation, that the Fourth Amendment applies to both. So even though the Ninth Circuit Court has already ruled that, why are they continuing to steal children and no one's out there stopping them? The point is for us to be an emergency response agency, policing agency. Someone would be able to call us, CPS is at my door trying to steal my children, they don't have a warrant. Well, as an emergency response agency, we want to be able to, rush to the scene, just like the police would, and as a police agency pretty much lay down federal law for them and tell them what they can't do. And under the color of law, they took an oath to uphold federal law. And under the color of law, the federal law violation for color of law, it states under there that any officer impeding on a citizen's federal and constitutional rights is committing a felony.
And that's 1983 and 1985, correct?
Yes, I believe so. And then under federal law, again, it states that any person witnessing another person committing a crime of a felony or higher has the authority to initiate a citizen's arrest. Okay, well, those two laws can come together and allow me to arrest a police officer for violation of federal and constitutional rights, for the violation of the color of law and attempting to kidnap a child without a warrant, because that's a felony under federal law. And under federal law, us citizens also have the right to initiate arrest. But there's no agency out there protecting federal law. and arresting officers for violation of federal law. So what we want to do is become a new national security organization that upholds and protects federal law for the people. Because that's really what the point of America is, right? The founders believed strongly that the point of the government was to protect the fundamental rights of the people, and that if the government started to abuse its power, it was our right to abolish it or change it. And so, in that being said, it's our right to arrest police officers when they're impeding on constitutional, which is pretty much federal law. Our constitutional rights is federal law. It's the rights derived from our Constitution. So what we're trying to do is protect the Constitution, protect those rights, protect the foundation that America was built on.
And so the incident in 2017, correct?
It was 2017. Athena Magdalene was having her child taken. She had changed her name, and CPS was coming to take her child simply because she had changed her name and she had other children that they had taken. And they were claiming that she was trying to hide from them, and she changed her name just so they wouldn't take her baby. But when is that a crime to change your name? You know? And they had taken her child, you know, for things that were just a violation of her constitutional rights. There was no real reason to take her child, so I was pretty much there to try to stop the police. If I had more backup and support, we probably could have actually made a difference for her. But unfortunately, I was arrested right along with her and the confiscation of her child. But the point was to go there and initiate a citizen's arrest. And I said it on the video that I wanted to initiate a citizen's arrest, but they wouldn't let me. And so, which we're going to be filing a lawsuit for that pretty soon. We're going to be trying to get one started here for them violating, you know, federal law and, you know, not submitting to the citizen's arrest in the first place because they were in violation of the color of law when it came to seizing a child without a warrant.
Yeah, and I saw you get tased. And basically, Glendale Police has this habit of redacting their body cam footage. I'm not sure if you asked for the public record, if you asked for unredacted or not, but I know from other auditors they have that tendency. I know they muted. Was that their mic muting, or was that the...
Yeah, that was them muting the mic because I was citing the U.S. code violations, and I guess they just didn't want everyone to hear that. They didn't want the public to see the federal laws or hear the federal laws that they were violating.
There's an auditor that was here, now he's up in Colorado. His name's Silent Citizen. Have you seen his video of Luke Air Force Base?
No.
Yeah, so basically they seized his camera and turned it off illegally without his authorization. And you'll see the same type of body cam edits. So as far as like cameras go, like I know your drones, every drone has a camera. Are you trying to get like body cams and other stuff for your organization?
Yes, our organization will also utilize body cams just like the police, except they won't be edited. And another thing with our agency is when we do like, you know, responding to emergencies like that, we want to be able to have the drones respond with us. And anytime a drone is activated, we want to be able to have a video link automatically streamed to our headquarters facility where it can also be taken manually control over in case it needs to be for any reason. You know, so that way there's not just our body cams, but there'd be cameras all around, and with us being a nonprofit, we're actually dedicated to not editing video, not changing anything, but to allow the public to have full disclosure.
Okay. Is there any things that you want the community locally here in Phoenix, or you and your organization?
Well, I want them to know that, you know, we're serious. Emergency Protection Division is very sincere, and we take it really seriously when it comes to protecting our Constitution and federal rights. You know, we're former foster children, and we're not really here to scam anyone or abuse the power that we might obtain in the future. We want the people to know that our drone program is not here to impede on your privacy, but it only here to protect you from police brutality and reduce crime on the streets, and help protect people from child trafficking, you know, and just all crime in general. It's not here to impede or infringe on anyone's freedom, privacy, or liberty. We're here to protect those things.
And you're well aware that anything in public can be filmed?
Yes, absolutely.
And so that's one question that some people have is privacy, but we're all on film. There's cameras behind the register. There's cameras by the
absolutely. And the way I see it is that you know, if you're a law-abiding citizen, productive member of society, there's nothing for you to worry about. You know, when it comes to thinking who could be watching you. I mean, you have privacy in your home, a lot of privacy in your home, and a lot of that is all we need, you know, is privacy in our home. But when you're in the public, I mean, people want to feel safe, you know, and being allowed to record anything out in the public that's not in the privacy of someone's home should not be anything that anyone worries about, because it's done everywhere, you know, even the ATMs.
And so basically your model is bringing the camera and basically with the drones, it's the next generation of safety and accountability. Am I correct?
Absolutely. It's the future of policing, because when you really think about it, I mean, just recently, I don't know if you heard about the cop that was you know, charged with filming, raping animals and or children or whatnot, and
no, I haven't heard that.
Us as humans, just along with police brutality in general, I mean, humans are aggressive, okay, and when we're in stressful situations, we don't always know how to react right away, and that's why cops are killing innocent kids, like that one teen who was killed up in Tempe, and that was very sad, and my heart goes out to that family, and I really hope justice can be found for that kid alone, and that's what I want. That's why I want our drone program, is because kids like him need something there to save them. If my drone was there, it would have saved that kid's life. It would have stopped that cop from shooting him, and it would have assessed the situation better and quicker without loss of life. And that cop would have been held accountable in general if it didn't make it there in time.
And then a lot of people have been saying, but the kid broke into the truck. He would have been held accountable in a court of law instead of dead, correctly?
Yeah, correct. But you know, whether he was committing a serious crime or, you know, a misdemeanor or a crime that deserves just a slap on the hand, I mean, nobody's perfect, and we all do things that we regret, whether it be serious or not serious, but that doesn't mean that the cops have the right to take life and death as a decision for them to make. That's whether someone deserves that or not. You know, it's not their job to decide whether someone deserves life and death. You know, they're actually, when it comes to the color of law, they're supposed to do everything in their power to stop a suspect from committing a possible crime, or to subdue a suspect that just committed a crime without taking life. That's under federal law. So why is it that they practice pulling out their guns so fast when federal law clearly states that they're supposed to do everything in their power to stop a crime without harming a person?
Where might our viewers learn more information about your organization and how to contact, even volunteer?
You can go on Google and just type Emergency Protection Division. You know, our website is the first one that pops up. You just gotta click on the right hand corner that says website. Just click on it, go straight to the website, and you know, from there they can view all of our information, donate, and get our phone number.
And so, what types of people are you interested in? Any particular person?
We want anyone who's dedicated in, you know, protecting the Constitution and the foundation that America was built on. And we also wouldn't mind, you know, former police officers, you know, veterans, military personnel, and also former social workers, or social workers who are quitting from CPS and want to go to a new agency because of our child welfare agency. So there's many people that we're needing and are more than willing to accept.
Okay, and of course not current law enforcement, because that'd be a conflict of interest.
Yeah, absolutely not current law enforcement, because I mean, we don't want people having two jobs, one with law enforcement and one with us. But yeah, we definitely wouldn't want that.
Okay, great. Thank you for your time, and obviously I look forward to seeing this organization in the future and seeing what it will accomplish. So,
thank you.
Yep.